aside, I'm just saying in your own life, human experience, have you seen anything make itself?
Maybe the robots. Robots makes robots. Or maybe that's all. Humans make the robots, but now robots are so clever they can make another robot.
But that robot, when it makes something else, has it been programmed?
Yeah.
And did it program itself, or someone programmed it?
Someone programmed it.
So I would say, from our own life experience, human experience, whenever something has come into existence, it has to have someone who makes it. And that someone who makes it has to have at least 3 qualities. It has to have knowledge, it has to have ability, and it has to have intention. It intends to do it. So we would say that this is a general rule in life, a general life rule which we experience all the time. So how would the universe and that system and also ourselves come into existence without a power, without a creator, without design?
I think that the people are just guessing, and maybe one guess is God.
But which is, even if you say guess, which is the most reasonable, the most likely? Random mutation or a creator?
I think we can't imagine what happened. We try to imagine, but it's hard because that was a long time, and maybe there are other powers in the universe that we don't know the first thing about them. Maybe it was God or something.
But here we got 2 choices, and you can bring a third option. But the 2 options are: there's a creator, or random mutation, or it just happened randomly by chance. It happened randomly by chance. There was all the elements in the universe. Randomly there was a Big Bang. Randomly this Big Bang made a universe. Randomly this Big Bang made planets. Randomly there's air to breathe, and we came about randomly. To be honest, I find that belief is just
maybe
amazing.
It was God who made the Big Bang, Big Boom.
I would say the most reasonable option is there is a creator, there is a God. That's one thing. But also you'll find human beings, as long as we have existed in every time, in every society, people have always had a desire to recognize a higher power, a God. Every language in the world has a word for God. Every society in the past, in the present, has always recognized a God. Human beings, they have a desire. We would say this is a natural disposition to recognize God, to believe in God.
I think I have a theory why is that.
Okay.
People, it's my guess of course. People sometimes they don't know what's going on. What are the stars? Why we have stars or the sun? And they didn't know what was going on in the past, and they thought probably there was God, but now we are know a lot of things. We're looking for other galaxies. Now we know why there are stars. Now there is less and less.
So now we know how something can come into existence without a creator.
No, we never know everything.
No, but that's what you're saying. What you said. What I understood. What you're saying is because the people before never knew.
Yeah,
they put God. They call it the God of the gaps. There's a gap in our knowledge. We'll put God inside it. But after all these scientific discoveries, and obviously it's very beneficial, communication, transport, the clothes you wear, everything. There's so much benefit in science, medicine, etc. With all this development, they still can't answer this question. So it still goes back to the 2 things I said. Either there's God or it's just random. It just happened. Like look at yourself, you know the digestive system. We eat food. The food is our teeth, the saliva, the taste. It's taken it. It's taken into our body, what our body does to it. It benefits us, causes us to grow, repair ourselves, gives us energy, gives us heat, and then whatever's not good is removed. For me, for someone to say, I don't believe in God, or this can happen by chance, I find this blind faith, I find it amazing. Not even amazing, I would go as far to say I find it very arrogant.
Arrogant.
Yeah, because when we ask people to show us anything which we know, I'm not talking about human beings and the universe, anything we know, a chair, a watch, all the things I listed, we always know that someone made it. So how can we come into existence without some power, some intent, some knowledge? I think it doesn't make any sense. That would be the two things I mentioned, the creation. The second is this natural feeling inside of us. But the third thing I would say, we believe that God sent messengers. Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, peace be upon all of them. And we find throughout time this continuous message that there is a God, that you should worship him, you should recognize him, and books. We find this is a continuous pattern throughout history. So we would say this is also an evidence. I think what happens is, this is my observation and my understanding. We have scientists who don't believe in a creator for whichever reason. I believe in Europe as
I think I heard there are lots of scientists who believe in God, and there are a lot of them who doesn't.
Yes, I would say in the West, many of them, they don't believe in God or they reject God, I would say due to Christianity, due to the Trinity, due to the problems with the Bible, due to the war between the church and science.
Yeah.
So it caused people to reject this, yeah, yes. But that's a separate issue. But this coming of messengers, and I would say that the evidence is very clear. That's why I believe that a person who rejects it, because they can't show us anything come into existence without a maker, without a creator, without a designer. Like even, for example, we talk about DNA. You know, DNA, it can, I'm not a scientist, but DNA, they tell us it contains so much information on how the body should function, how the body should grow. This DNA, someone has to write it. So, yeah, I mean, to believe that it just happened randomly, I don't think they can give a. I believe that believing in God and recognizing God is the most reasonable, the most logical, the most evidence-based opinion.
It's beneficial to believe in
Yeah.
God.
Not only beneficial, I don't see that there's
It's reasonable.
I don't see there's another alternative. To say it just happened by randomly. So what happens, as I was saying, was I think you have scientists who are very well spoken. They have certificates, they have positions, they use very long words. But this only, and those ones who disbelieve, like you said, there's many scientists who believe in a God, regardless of which religion they follow. Or
They see this perfectness.
Yes,
How the
yeah,
earth
yeah.
was
But I would say,
created, so
yeah,
they think-
those scientists who don't, and they argue for this case, when you actually look at their argument, they are just saying that we don't know how it happened, hopefully in the future we will know, but they're still saying it's random. It just happened.
Yeah, we never know everything, so.
But I think we know
If we
enough.
know everything, then
Yeah,
maybe we would say there's no God, or there is one.
yeah. But the thing is, on another point, purpose. Do you believe you have a purpose?
Yeah, I think the people's purpose is just live, eat, have family, work, build your world, enjoy your life. Yeah, I think that is our purpose.
So is there any difference between that and a cat, a dog, a sheep, a snake, a snail?
Yeah, this is my belief that I think we are like the animals. We just more clever than them.
Okay, but we have the ability to gain knowledge, to study. We have the ability to make decisions. Like for example, a cow, for example, will always be a cow. A cow will eat grass, a cow will give milk, and a cow will reproduce more cows to give meat, milk, etc. But human beings, we have a choice. You can help someone, you can harm someone, and you have a conscience as well. When I do something bad, or human beings, when we do something bad, generally human beings will feel bad. When we do something good, like if you help someone, like even if you, for example, you see a poor person and you give them £10, you've lost £10, but you do feel happy, and you feel satisfied. So we have this conscience. So it's reasonable to say we're different to animals.
I don't know. I think that the animals has some similarities. Maybe it's not so much developed like the.
But they can't steal, they can't lie, they can't cheat. Like for example, if a human kills another human being without a justification, without self-defense, we would call it murder. And we believe that's bad. All societies, all people, they believe it's bad. If a lion kills a gazelle, do we believe that's bad?
No, because it needs to eat.
Okay. So what actions do animals do which is considered bad or immoral or wrong? Or how would an animal do something good as an animal?
But if the people, sorry?
How would the animal do something wrong?
In the wildlife, they cannot do wrong because everyone's.
But human beings can do right and wrong.
Their life, so.
But human beings can do good and bad,
Yes,
right and wrong.
The human beings created this society, and the society says what is good and bad. I think.
Okay, but we can do good and bad.
Yeah.
So we're different to animals.
But if it wouldn't be, let's say that the apes, we would be like the apes. We are very similar to apes. And if I wouldn't born in the society, maybe apes would.
Too many maybes. Too many maybes could be.
Yeah.
But I would not without being rude. I would say your maybes, they're generally unreasonable, illogical. You can't support them with any evidence.
Let's say I was raised by the apes in the wildlife. I think I would be like the apes. Because
Okay.
the apes would raise me, not humans. I
You'll be
think
would you be as strong as them?
No. Probably, maybe I would be more clever, but I would know their society, not our society. So.
But here you're given like a very rare, unlikely example.
Yeah.
Because generally human beings are born in
Yeah,
human
society.
societies, with families, with parents, and we behave a particular way. So it would appear that, I would say, it's reasonable to say we must have a purpose. Like for example, your bag. I mean, if for example your coat. Obviously people, they wear coats to look nice. But it has a purpose,
Yeah.
to keep us warm, to protect us, shoes, watch, etc. What's interesting, if you ask most people the purpose of generally known things, the sun, the water, the rain, the things which I mentioned, we'll always give the same purpose, generally. But when we ask what is our purpose, some people don't know, some people guess, some people they have different opinions. I would say that God, who created us, He sent messengers, and the messengers told us our purpose. Our purpose is to recognize God, to worship God, as in to live a life which, according to what He wants, to try to seek to please Him. And how do we know this? He sent messengers. He sent human beings to teach us about that which we don't know, the unseen, and also to demonstrate to us how we should live our life. And then once we leave this world, we are going to be judged. This is what all the messengers came with.
in your opinion, so people's purpose is just to follow God, right? Like
To
God
worship God,
says,
yes.
Worship God.
Yes, this is what Islam, because the thing is, because it's an Arabic word, when people think of Islam, sometimes they'll think of, I don't know, a lady with her face covered, people praying, sometimes people think of a mosque, camels, etc. But Islam, it means submission. So we believe that people have been created to worship God and to submit to God.
Worship, like praying for Him and doing good with the words and telling other people to worship God, believe in God.
The concept of worship in Islam is quite vast. So we believe praying, fasting, calling people to Islam is worship, reading Quran is worship. But also we believe, for example, looking after my children, going to work and earning, we could say halal, earning in a good manner is worship. Looking after my children, teaching my children, looking after our parents, looking after the neighbors, being polite to someone, helping someone, we consider all of this worship. Worship for us is anything which the Creator is pleased with and the Creator loves, whether it's our speech, whether it's our action, even a kind word would be worship. Even giving someone advice would be worship. And even the belief in our heart would be worship. So to love God, to have hope in God, to fear God's anger, we all consider this worship. So we would say the whole life of a human being is worship. What's interesting, I would ask you to look into it, Islam as well. I would say Islam is the most reasonable, logical, but also it has evidence. The Quran is something which has been preserved. The teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his teachings cover every single aspect of life. And on that point as well, to say that a man who came 1,400 years ago approximately, and he was born in the Arabian Peninsula in the city of Mecca, he came with a way of life where he has taught everything. How to eat, how to sleep, how to marry, how to divorce, how to treat your parents, how to worship, how to earn money, what is allowed, what is forbidden in earnings, how to fight war, how to make peace, how to rule a country. We don't have this from any other religious system or even political system where one person has come, we believe, from God with revelation, and it's covered the complete way of life. And not only that, it's been preserved for 1,400 years up until today, where we have everything from him, his speech, his actions. All of this convinces us that Islam is true, that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last messenger, that Allah alone deserves to be worshipped. Most importantly, Allah alone deserves to be worshipped. And you can say, well, you would say that you're Muslim, you're right, but I don't see any other way of life, any other religion can offer this. How does that sound?
I believe you think this.
But how does it sound for you?
For me,
Yeah.
worship God.
Yeah. Well, you have to accept a God, but even the point I mentioned about there being a God, does it sound more likely there is a God or there isn't a God?
Yeah, I just don't know, and you never know. Maybe when I'm dying, and I go in front of God, and I will know. Okay, sorry, there was a God. I wasn't sure. Okay, here you are. Okay, sorry.
That's a very big gamble, isn't it? You have people who are approaching you, whether they're Muslim, Christian, Hindu, etc., and they're telling you, they're telling you, you know you're going to die, you're going to leave this world. And they're telling you there's a purpose, there's a God. And then, especially in the time we live in, communication is very easy. To gather information is very easy. Printing, writing, books, the internet, the ways of communication are so easy. And then for someone to say, I don't know, I'll wait till I die, that's very dangerous, I would say.
Dangerous.
Yeah, because there's a lot at stake.
God would punish me because I don't believe what other people say when they say there is a God?
Islamically, in the Quran, I believe chapter 17, verse 15, it mentions that God will not punish until he sent the message, until the message has been delivered. So once the message is delivered and it's clear, the person's understood it, then they're open to the punishment.
Okay.
As for a person doesn't know, and generally they don't know, that's a separate question. But if God has created us, and he said he created us for a purpose, and it's been explained, and he sent messengers, and he sent books, and a person, it comes to them, and they just say, I'm not interested, I don't care, leave me alone, let me just be happy, and they turn away. And also the Quran explains that people, I mean, this is our belief, and we believe this with certainty. There's going to be paradise, and there's going to be a hellfire, and there's going to be a judgment day. When those people who reject the truth, after it's come to them from messengers, when they are taken to the hellfire, the angels will ask them, did not a messenger came to you? And they will say, yes, a messenger came to them. Then Allah says, فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسُحْقًا لِأَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Allah mentions, and they will admit, and they will be فَاعْتَرَفُوا بِذَنْبِهِمْ. They will confess, and they will be aware of their sins, their transgression. Then Allah says, away with them to the blazing fire.
I found this very, very severe punishment.
It is.
Someone comes to you and says, believe in God, or you go to hellfire. And maybe the person wasn't raised by Christianity. So
Yeah.
maybe he's born in this belief. So
Yeah, but
very,
no, but
very severe punishment.
it's severe punishment, but
Maybe he was a very good person in the life, like giving money to everyone. He just, let's say, didn't believe in God, but he didn't steal or didn't kill.
But has he got a good, reasonable, logical, evidence-based argument to reject God? Like, God has given us everything we have. Like, even if for example, a person's born in a Christian house. I'm a Muslim, so this is my belief, this is my position, this I believe is correct. When someone says, I believe in one God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, and all three of these are one, I say, it's illogical, unreasonable, no evidence. I would say you've lied on God.
Maybe if we bring someone who is in Christianity, almost like similar to you, but just a different religion, you could argue for hours.
No, this argument this argument continues, and obviously we believe that whenever the argument is put down well, the Christian has, we say no legs to stand on, because you can't say one God and then say, but he's free, but he's one. And then you can't say that Jesus was a man born from a woman, used to eat food, used to get tired, and used to pray to God. Most importantly, used to pray to God and used to turn to God for aid and for help, and then tell us that he is God. It's illogical, unreasonable, it's a lie.
I was raised, I was taught Christianity, let's say I'm Protestant, but now
I was raised this way as well.
I was Protestant, but now I'm more like agnostic.
Okay. But I obviously.
Sometimes I pray when I really want, let's say, my mom to be okay. I can pray, or I'm very paranoid, so I can
Pray to who?
pray. Yeah, I pray to God. So
Not to Jesus?
yeah, to God. No, Jesus. Yeah.
So this thing.
Still have this agnostic.
So this is what I was talking about. This thing inside of us, to recognize God and to worship God, is there.
It's coming from my
It's
fear.
we call, you heard this thing hardwired. It's hardwired in us. Like you saw something like a tennis ball coming towards you. Human beings, without thinking, the first thing you do is do this.
Yeah, reflex.
we're hardwired this way. A dog, see a dog running towards you, you run. You don't need to think about it, you don't need to weigh it up, you run. You see someone fall over, an elderly person. We're hardwired to go there and pick up the person.
Maybe not everyone.
This is inside of us. This is what makes us human. But this thing of when I need something and when no one can help me and turn to God, this is also inside us. Also, this thing of a person cannot find true happiness, true satisfaction unless they connect to God is also in us. Like, we like money, we like nice clothes, we like nice food. This is in us. But true happiness will come when a person has connection with God. We're hardwired with this as well.
I don't know.
No problem. I've said a lot to you. I don't want to put too much on you, but I would ask you to think about it.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm very busy because I'm working and studying at the same time. But sometimes I watch videos on people's opinion, and I heard lots of things. Maybe that's all. Yeah, probably that was a big impact on my religion when I heard this agnostic stuff and stuff like that.
But I would look into it, and
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Curious of different religions. Also in my thoughts as well.
You know, there's people who are curious. It's a good characteristic. They like to understand different cultures, different people, and they're respectful. These people, they will go to a church, they'll go to a mosque, they'll go to a synagogue, they'll go to a temple, and they'll be respectful. So there's this curious. But there's the curious of, what does God want from me? What should I do? What am I here for? And a person will follow it and will continue. I understand. People have families, people have to work, people have to study. No one's saying ignore this. But this thing of what am I here for? This has to take priority. I'm not saying don't go to work Monday morning or don't pay your bills, no. But I'm saying have this in your mind and keep looking and ask people and ask for their evidence. And most importantly, I would say, I'm talking to someone who introduced themselves as an agnostic, but you do say when you need something or when someone is sick like your mother, you pray. I would say whatever you choose to name that one you call on them and say, show me the truth and guide me and give me the ability to follow it.
I didn't get the last one. When I'm praying,
ask for,
ask God,
show you and guide you and give you the strength, the ability to follow it.
The belief.
The ability, yeah. So, yeah, not blindly, but really look for the truth. And ask people and study. We'd like to give you a Quran and some leaflets about Islam. And also, we're here every Saturday. If you have any questions, arguments, objections, then you're more than welcome. Can I give you a Quran? Is it, sorry?
Free of charge or
depends how rich you are. No, it's free of charge. Officer?
Thank you for
no problem, it's our pleasure.
Conversation.
No problem, we're here every Saturday. Thank you very much, take care. Okay then, bye-bye.
If you like our content, then please subscribe. We notice that 97% of our viewers are not subscribed. Please subscribe, like, and comment, as it will really help with the YouTube algorithm in getting recommended. We would really appreciate it. If you have any ideas or suggestions, please contact the Continuous Message Foundation Dawah team via the chat.